Yo, I saw this take about this news we have to cover that was like, oh, Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito is in some boiling hot water. And I was just left going, really? Boiling hot? That's a jacuzzi. Alito's just chilling. He's one of the 9 most powerful judges in the country, a lifetime appointee. And if you've got Justice Clarence Thomas just openly having sugar daddies, and he's not recusing himself with stuff that involves his wife and the effort to overturn the 2020 election, like, no, we should and can talk about any and all of these situations that we see play out with the Supreme Court. But to act like any meaningful action will ever really be taken, it's a little bit silly at this point. It doesn't take into account where we are politically in 2024. But let's talk about it because Alito has been facing a ton of backlash since last week when the New York Times reported that an upside-down American flag, a symbol of the Stop the Steal movement, had been flown outside his house in the days after the insurrection. Right? And that's significant not only because of what it symbolizes, but because Supreme Court justices are supposed to remain independent and avoid political statements or displays on matters that could come before them. Now, Alito, for his part, responded like a lot of husbands do when they don't want to deal with some stuff. He blamed his wife, for him that's Martha Ann Alito, and telling the Times, "I had no involvement whatsoever in the flying of the flag. It was briefly placed by Mrs. Alito in response to a neighbor's use of objectionable and personally insulting language on yard signs." With sources interviewed by the outlet saying that Martha Ann had been in an ongoing clash with a family on the block who displayed an anti-Trump sign on their lawn, but saying because of the timing, the neighbors had interpreted the inverted flag as a political statement by the couple. And so, with this, you had numerous judicial experts saying that the move was a clear violation of ethics rules and raised concerns about Alito's ability to be impartial in cases involving the election in January 6th. And, that could be super significant because the court is set to rule on 2 major insurrection-related cases in the coming weeks. I mean, one of those is literally whether Trump has immunity from criminal prosecution for efforts to overturn the 2020 election. That little low-stakes thing, which is why we've seen tons of people going after Alito, with many Democrats calling on him to recuse himself and some conservatives even criticizing him. I mean, even Lindsey fucking Graham said the actions were not good judgment. And now that backlash has actually gotten even louder because the reason we're talking about this today is that the Times reported yesterday that another flag associated with January 6th and Trump was flown outside another one of his houses last summer, with 3 pictures obtained by the outlets and accounts from nearly half a dozen people revealing that an Appeal to Heaven flag was brandished at the Alito's Long Beach Island home in July and September of 2023, with also a Google Street View image from last August showing the flag up, with the Times explaining while the flag originally dates back to the Revolutionary War, more recently it's become a symbol of support for former President Donald J. Trump, for a religious strand of the Stop the Steal campaign, and for a push to remake American government in Christian terms. And very notably here, that flag, which has been embraced by Christian nationalists, was also carried by a number of insurrectionists and featured prominently on January 6th. And notably with that, as of recording, neither Alito nor the court have responded to the revelations about the second flag, with people wondering, is he going to try to blame Martha again, or say it's not supposed to be connected to that, it's the other thing? As a result, we've seen tons of people renewing their calls for Alito to recuse himself from the January 6th cases. With this again, including top Democrats like Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who wrote on X, "Did another neighbor make Alito's wife mad? How many MAGA battle flags does Alito need to fly for the court or judicial conference to see there's a problem?" But also, some have gone even further, saying that more needs to be done than just recusal, with the likes of Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez telling MSNBC,
"Samuel Alito has identified himself with the same people who raided the Capitol on January 6th and is now going to be presiding over court cases that have deep implications over the participants of that rally. And while this is the threat to our democracy, Democrats have a responsibility for defending our democracy. And in the Senate, we have gavels. There should be subpoenas going out. There should be active investigations that are happening.
But as far as whether any of that is going to materialize, we'll have to wait and watch. But as I made abundantly clear at the top of this, I don't really think that with the state of things that people are held accountable. That it's purely a numbers game, a power grab or power enforcement. But hey, every now and then I am wrong. It sometimes does happen. So we'll have to wait to see not only what happens, but if Alito responds, as well as does the court respond, and what is it?